When we left off, we had said goodbye to the comforts of marina life in San Francisco Bay and set sail under the Golden Gate as full-time cruisers. We were met with nasty northerly winds which kept us from making progress up the coast, forcing us to turn in to Bodega Bay.
We're just not making any headway. We'll run out of fuel or miss her by the window or both. You know, it's not only when you get breaking waves and you're looking up at them from the cockpit.
Yeah. I grew up going to Bodega Bay for family beach days, but this was the first time arriving by boat. We followed the long, narrow channel for about 2 miles, passing public launch ramps, a Coast Guard station, and families fishing from shore. So we're headed to Spud Point Marina, which is there to port where all those masts are. See what we find. We'd like to anchor out, but we don't really know exactly where. We might ask a couple people and maybe we'll anchor tomorrow or the next day or something. So we'll see. There's these crazy muddy salt flats over here.
Tired, wet, and salty, we were glad to be tied in a protected harbor to wait out the blow that was heading down the coast.
We made it! And you're fitting in right with the bodega fisherman vibe here with your funny hat. Fathom, you stay on the boat.
What do you mean funny?
It's just like sticking up really awkwardly. Once settled in, we went to check out our new neighborhood and walked up to Spud Point Crab Company for some comfort food after a long, hard passage.
1 chowder, 1 crab sandwich, $25.93.
Great.
You want some crab? Oh, you were spoiled. You did so good on this trip.
Sleep deprived food. Well, I can't even talk.
You want more? High five. Good girl. That was more of a give me it. We spent the remainder of the day resting and recuperating from the rough seas offshore.
In bouncy seas, we had stuffed pillows and jackets in our cabinets to keep the stuff from clanking around with every rock and roll of the boat.
By the afternoon, the winds had picked up substantially. It's a lot more protected in here than it is out there on the ocean, but we're glad to be hanging out here to wait out weather. We're actually pretty close to my parents. They're in Forestville, so it's about a 20-minute drive for them. So my mom is coming out today to hang out for a bit around lunchtime. And our old family friends, Chris and Steve, who have known me since I was 2 weeks old, are also coming out. So it'll be nice to have them check out the boat, get to have a little lunch and hang out and visit while we're stuck here. Might as well make the best of it. We spent the morning with family and friends, and then were treated to a coastal drive by one of our patrons, Tim, who lives close by.
Oh man, that looks gross.
Yeah, dude. I mean, they're so close together, too. Like,
Yeah, that's nasty.
Where I was sitting yesterday up here in Jenner, it was like, you know, this is pretty unprotected here, but up in Jenner, it's kind of wrapping around this little point, and I mean, yeah, it's just solid 10 foot every 5 seconds, you know?
Oh, God.
Like, shit.
Lily Beans, do you think we should go out in that? I don't think so. I don't think so. He took us to check out the nasty conditions offshore, then to taste his favorite coastal cafe in Jenner. Well, we have left the marina in Bodega and now we are anchored out at the end of the turning basin, which is like the very end of the channel here. It's really quiet and nice. It's only about 12 feet of water, and behind us is literally just like mud flats. I'm not really sure if this is really allowed, but it's nice to be off the dock and we're saving some money and we've got a beautiful view and we're the only boat here, so can't complain. Good morning from our anchorage in Bodega Bay. This spot is just amazing. During the day there's a little bit of noise because on this side we have like Bodega downtown. There's like a couple restaurants and a hotel or two and some little shops and stuff. The coast is on the other side of that little land spit there, so we're super protected. It's just us and the birds. At night we could hear the frogs, which was kind of cool. Unfortunately, there's only a tiny lull in the weather. It's not looking good for the next like 3 days, 4 days, which just didn't give us a long enough time in between to get through Cape Mendocino. We're being patient and we're just enjoying what we've got in our backyard here. Taryn and Logan from the Wayward Life are up in Canada working on their boat, and they had hail the other day. It just reminded us that it's still not really summertime up there, and there's still a lot of weather patterns happening that we need to just respect and keep an eye out for. So can't complain. We're doing the thing. We are out here living the cruising life where we just dictate everything around what the weather is doing. It's a good crash course into this next chapter of our lives.
Warning in effect from late tonight through late Saturday night.
They're saying 17-foot swells off Point Reyes at 8 seconds.
This afternoon. Wind waves 8 to 9 feet, increasing to 10 to 12 feet this afternoon. Winds 25 to 35 knots. Gusts 45 knots. Wind waves 16 to 18 feet.
16 to 18 foot, that's fun.
Oh, no thank you.
Just windy as shit.
Yeah. Ooh, that looks delicious. Thanks, love.
We'll see.
Hodgepodge.
It's a weird ass combo.
It's gonna be great. Man, these side panels are just
Killer, huh?
amazing. Trying to distract ourselves, we spent the day baking and cleaning Gemini's interior. How do you feel right now?
Hard. I want some peace and quiet and to be moving.
To be moving, but not just moving at
like
anchor.
actually traversing nautical miles, not just bouncing around in the anchorage.
Yeah.
And I'm hungry. But I keep on eating all of our food. We can't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's like even if we got the dinghy to shore, then we would just be like worried about the boat or like miserable on shore. It's like there's not much to do.
Yeah.
But we could have been stuck in this weather in the bay, and that would have really sucked. Because then it would have just felt like we hadn't gotten any progress at all.
I did install the saltwater foot pump in the galley though.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I washed some underwear. cleaned the boat up on the inside.
Yeah, she looks really nice right now. I can see her all shiny.
I'm just ready for it not to be blowing 30 knots outside 2 days in a row.
It's been more than 2 days. We only had like, what, 2 out of 9 days that weren't windy?
9 days.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's just draining. Even Fathom is tired of it.
Fathom puked today.
Yeah, I think she's a little seasick from sitting at anchor. Poor thing. She's sleeping it off though.
No, it's kind of hard to concentrate when anything you do outside is freezing cold and just bouncing around.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a weird mind state. Constantly feeling you need to check on yourself. That anchor's set though. It's That's weird.
Life is just grand.
It's okay. It's just.
I think the name of our first episode of this trip is gonna be "When It Blows, It Blows."
After a full week of howling winds, the forecast was looking good for departure north.
Well, it has finally calmed down this morning. We're planning to leave Bodega Bay tomorrow morning, so we're heading to land to get some provisions from the little tiny market here. We'll see what we find. We are dropping off some trash and recycling, and we're gonna find some breakfast. So it's so nice to get off the boat and finally be able to check out the little town that's right next to us here. All right, and we're off. We left Gemini on the hook in her own anchorage and treated ourselves to a breakfast at the famous Tides restaurant, featured in the Hitchcock classic film, The Birds.
The breakfast wasn't that great, but it gave us the energy we needed to walk to the market for provisions.
Stocked up with fresh food, we headed back to Gemini to prep for an early morning departure. Well, we made it back to Gemini and we spent $103 on the groceries we bought. We got mainly fresh stuff. We got like bacon and some meat and some sausages, and then quite a few potatoes and onions and carrots and a cucumber and 2 big blocks of cheese. A dozen of eggs, and what else? Some tortillas, a loaf of sourdough bread. Yeah, not too bad for a tiny little Bodega Bay market. And now we feel nice and ready and stocked up, and we can do a little bit of food prep before our departure tomorrow morning. Just before 6 a.m. we are picking up anchor at Bodega Bay. It is dead calm here. Hopefully we've got some good winds this passage, hopefully behind us. We are so glad to be leaving this place. Don't get me wrong, I love Bodega Bay, but being stuck here for 10 days with terrible wind and not much to do has been pretty frustrating. So we're excited to get a move on again. Adios! We are headed out the channel and out into the Pacific, and we are headed north. Wish us luck. We should have some decent southerly winds. That's what it's forecasted for, so fingers crossed that follows through, because it'd be great to be able to actually sail somewhere. But right now we've only got about a knot of wind, so we'll see what happens once the day gets going here. Yahoo!
Yahoo!
Getting out of Bodega.
Bodega!
Once and for all.
Oh, pretty.
And here's the real attraction. Is that your sexy face?
Twitchy.
Sexy, twitchy. Okay, got it. Note taken. Your jaw is doing some weird things over there. We're just north of Bodega Bay and it started to rain. Good thing we've got our side panels keeping us dry in the cockpit.
Join us next time as we finally sail around the infamous Cape Mendocino.
Well, we have shut the engine off after about 12 hours of motoring today because we've got a nice southerly pushing us up the coast. We're blessed with some sweet sailing conditions and have an unfortunate accident while sailing in bumpy seas offshore. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and a huge thanks to our incredible Patreon crew for keeping this boat afloat. Until next time.